So, for the last episode, we forgot that we wanted like a fun little, just hanging out at the front and then cue the intro.
Ah, okay.
So we're going to do that this time.
Okay.
So at some point early, we're going to hit a point where we realize it's intro.
Okay. Is this that point?
Are we live right now?
Yes. We are rolling. How you guys doing? Good
Was that all captured?
Yes.
I was going to do a whole bit.
Do the bit.
You can still do it.
Yeah?
You can do a bit. Yeah. You do a bit.
But I liked that.
Okay.
Just letting you know, this is the podcast now. You're rolling. So
Well, I wanted...
Dude, okay, dude,
thinking,
all right.
If it started like...
So I'm not, should I pretend like nothing? Okay, I'm gonna just sit here. Oh, do I hear something?
I wore the noisiest pants.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted that every time I like...
Yeah,
that you
not only are they like
you would hear it slide.
actually noisy, they are like green.
Is that bad? We're not green screening anything.
We could be. Could be green screening your pants to a different color.
How is this for the audio for podcast 2?
Great.
Yeah? I just won't move my legs.
No, it's low.
I'll just keep my legs closed.
No, these mics are good at directional audio. You're good, baby. You're all good.
I set you wide open for a joke there.
I was gonna say, how are you not crushing your balls? If I'm moving my leg, if I'm crossing too much, I'm crushing my balls every time.
I guess I got small balls. We got brunch at 2. We got Bob's brunch.
Why is that weird? Well,
We
okay,
got
I
Bob's-
said I wanted to get brunch at 1, and you and Jackson ganged up on me.
Because brunch
Like you
isn't
do.
1.
Brunch.
Brunch is 11.
Oh my God. At the restaurant, the brunch goes until usually 2 at least.
Yeah, I like how you said usually because we got there at 2
They didn't have
and there
brunch.
was no brunch.
They didn't have
They'd
brunch.
already
They-
switched
no,
to the lunch menu.
They never had brunch on weekdays.
No, they
was the
did.
problem. No, they
didn't?
Brunch was Saturdays and Sundays till 4.
It is a Saturday and Sunday event. But
It's-
brunch,
yeah, mostly a Sunday thing.
brunch starts at 11.
Okay. All right.
You have a point.
Look,
brunch does go
brunch
until 4.
normally-
You do got me there a little bit.
Because brunch is breakfast and lunch together.
Yeah.
So 11 makes sense. I
11
wake
does
up
make
at
sense.
like 1.
You said, let's
But
get
the
brunch.
brunch event of going
You
to the
got
restaurant.
fried chicken and I got a chicken
We
sandwich.
missed the brunch because they didn't have brunch. We went to a place that didn't have brunch. It was delicious, though. It was really good.
So episode 2. I think the first one went pretty well.
It did. It went very good. It's so good, we decided to do another one.
We might do a third.
Who knows?
We did a bonus episode, which ended up being better than
Definitely.
the actual episode.
That's usually how it's going to go because those are more hectic and we can just do whatever we want.
So if you missed the bonus, there's another one after this one on the Patreon.
Yeah.
But you don't worry about that. We're here now.
We're here now.
And on this episode, I suggested we talk about the one question. I feel like if we were to say to Twitter, what question would you like us to tackle for episode 2? I feel like future of Nintendo would be the dominating one.
Yes, definitely.
Whenever I'm live on Twitch or I ask for Q&As, that's the one I get. Like, what do you think Nintendo's going to do next?
Yeah, and I feel like we have a lot of... We think about it. I was going to say we have a lot of insight. We do not. We just think about it a lot.
We have a little bit of insight. Because we were told something that we were swore to secrecy, and that's literally all we can say about that.
The thing that we were told is like such a like innocuous thing that's like should be pretty obvious.
True. Do you want to say it then?
No, because we'll get murdered.
We will get murdered.
It's so obvious though. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll say it in the podcast. You just won't know when.
Oh, I like that. And I'll say that my theory has a lot of points, but the thing we were told lines up with it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, do we want to just dive right into this?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. So we both agree Nintendo is done after the Switch.
Yeah, they're going to fold up and they're going to start releasing stuff on Xbox.
Right. They might go back to playing cards.
Yes. They have Hanafuda cards.
They do?
You can buy them, yeah.
You would know that because you're a weeb.
Yes.
How many do you have?
1 pair of Hanafuda cards.
Of course you do.
Yeah. They're like this big though. 1 pair, I said? That's not how that works. There's like 60 cards in there.
That's like a deck.
I've never played it. I have no idea how to play that.
You ever played 60 card pickup?
Yes. 52 pickup.
Oh, I'd ever ruin my own joke.
So Nintendo started as a card company 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
134.
Okay.
To be exact.
And they've been making toys ever since then. And the 70s they started making games? Because that's where the toy market was going.
The 70s?
Yeah, Donkey Kong was late 70s.
Oh.
And I think Game & Watch was 70s.
Cool.
Yeah.
I should probably know that. I'm on the Nontendo Podcast.
Listen, I am frequently wrong about my
I think
facts.
you are wrong.
And I usually have on my podcast, I have my brother who instantly shuts me down when I get something wrong.
I'm not going to help you there at all.
That's what you guys are for.
Barely educated outside of video games, let alone with video games.
At least Donkey Kong was late 70s. I'm pretty sure.
Finished high school.
That's good. I was a terrible student.
Did you go to like any kind of college or university?
I graduated college.
Congratulations.
It took me like 6 years.
What did you study?
I went to college first for like computers.
Right.
But I failed out of all of those classes.
General computers.
So I switched to graphic design. And then I got my degree in graphic design.
Do you know what RAM stands for?
Yes, random access memory.
ROM?
ROM is read-only memory.
Oh, I almost got him on that one. That's the extent of my computer knowledge.
I get in trouble now because I call every storage device a hard drive. People are like, that's not a hard drive. That's an SSD.
Oh, those guys can get screwed.
I know. It's like when my parents would go, send that guy your tapes. Like I got my videos on tapes. Anyway, we're talking about future Nintendo. Wow, I'm so happy to be here.
All right, if we want to get serious, I think that Nintendo is very obviously going to stick with the hybrid format. There's no way that they're not.
Yeah.
Because what are they going to do? Go back to a home console?
I think the way that they went, the problem is with Nintendo, they always got to do a gimmick wacky thing.
Yeah. There has to be some kind of gimmick.
And it helps and hurts. It helps and hurts. Like they've been alternating between like having it really help them out and them selling a lot.
The Wii? Great.
Yeah.
The Wii U?
No. What did you do? It was
but
fine
that
before.
Switch.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So that was like that was like an obvious trajectory for them.
Right.
Because everybody hated the Wii U.
Everyone.
But everybody's critique with the Wii U was like, why can't I just use the gamepad? Why do I use the other thing? So then they're like, okay, no more console then.
I mean, there's two things there for me. One, the Switch is essentially what they wanted the Wii U to be. So it makes sense.
The Switch is essentially what we wanted the Wii U to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think also a little bit the other way.
I feel like if they wanted that, they could have done it.
It wouldn't have been. It would have essentially been a handheld, which
Yeah.
is what they were doing. Yeah. But that leads into, I feel like they've always put a lot of love into their handheld market, and I think that's what was doing so well for them at that point, that switch over to Switch. I think really they've wanted this hybrid concept, like that's what the Wii U kind of a little bit was emulating, and as soon as technology got to a point where you could have a handheld that didn't look like a GBA, and it could be competitive, they just went full in. And they were like, this outdated tablet will last us 8 years.
And they were right.
Yeah, they were right.
That was the obvious way they could have gone. I feel like so they usually have a handheld and a home console. And now they got the hybrid, so they don't really have two markets. However, I feel like there is a lot of room for a small, underpowered, dedicated handheld.
Oh, no.
Like a GBA.
Oh, no.
You know how I have a whole friggin' YouTube channel talking about all these little tiny portable emulator trinket things? Why don't they just make an official one? And it could run on the eShop, and it could have all the same stuff, and if something's underpowered enough, it can go right on there. All those great indie games, all of the backlog of 3DS stuff, there's no reason. And it could cost under $100.
You want a Switch 2, that's the Switch but better.
Well, yes, you're right.
But you also want a little crap
little
Switch.
Dinky thing, yeah.
Mini
Switch. That's like $100, maybe $150 max.
The Switch poopy.
Yeah. And it's a little...
The Switch, but not good.
It's smaller than a Switch Lite, and it can play all of the games that don't require too much
How much would that cost?
$100 or $150. At max, $150. Yeah.
Why?
I think there's a huge market for it.
Yeah, and it's being fulfilled by like a billion different companies in China.
Yeah, and they're all doing a garbage job.
True, except the Odin that you really
is
liked.
awesome. Oh, I should have brought it.
Should have.
You gotta check it out.
I know.
It's awesome.
I was gonna steal yours because I ordered one also and I haven't got it yet.
That's another problem. They keep screwing up
That's true. That
the
is
whole
true.
thing with it. They're really bad at producing. Well, right now everybody's really bad at producing hardware.
Which is to no one's fault.
Yeah, you can't really put blame on people. But I feel like a lot of people don't anticipate. Like, you gotta at least now anticipate that there's gonna be issues. But
Now I'm just playing with the button on my pants.
yeah, well,
and
you
like
make it,
clicking.
you make it as much
These are the
noise as you possibly
noisiest
can.
pants that I could possibly have worn.
I also think that there's like Nintendo made the Game and Watch anniversary things.
That's true.
which are
You like
they were
those?
okay.
You want those?
I would like one. I don't need 40 of them. But I think the Pokemon Company needs to make one. And they need to make it look like an original Game Boy. And just put one old Pokemon game on it and sell it for $50.
So
Jordan's like, yeah, dude.
is this your actual prediction of what they're going to do? You just
no,
want this to happen.
I don't think they would ever do any of this.
Yeah, there's
I
no
think this,
shot
I think
at
this
all.
needs to happen, though.
Okay.
Well, like,
It won't.
Nintendo did a great job with their classic consoles up until the Game Watch. That was like a little weird. But I'd see a huge missed opportunity for the Pokemon Company. I think the Pokemon Company has been making a lot of mistakes recently.
I don't think Game Freak and the Pokemon Company have any clue what they're doing.
No.
I think they're on board with the Pokemon cards. They know
Pokemon
they just
cards, plushies, merchandise, movies, TV,
Yeah.
awesome.
And
Games, the thing that gave them life, they're like, who cares? Do whatever. Just,
I say this as
here's
someone
$40, make a whole game out of it.
who's working with the Pokemon Company. Love you guys, but they like what the thing they seem to stay on top of is like artists crapping out card designs
Yeah.
so they can make a new booster box and set every 2 months.
That's because that's an immediate return for them. They don't.
Super immediate.
The games make a lot of money, and they see like, oh, we can spend $1 million on a game and get like 40 million back. Then who cares? We're just
Right.
gonna make it less and less. But they don't realize that that's where all of the ideas come from, and how you're gonna get new audiences and stuff
But what I think is actually going to happen
with the
Switch,
Nintendo. Okay.
because that's not what's going to happen,
Yes.
is we will get a Switch 2 in 2024. Thoughts?
I think that the way things have been going, it could be late next year, but early 2024 is probably more plausible.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So my theory is this year is stacked with releases.
Yeah,
we're
nothing's
getting
happening this
so many games. They've delayed Zelda to next year. So Zelda's going to be a big part of next year alongside Metroid Prime 4, which will happen next year. You believe
That's
me?
been a really long development.
That's
cycle.
happening next year.
Yeah.
We'll also get a couple other cool things, I'm sure. They always have like secrets. 1, 2, 3 Switch will probably come out.
1, 2, 3.
I've actually heard a rumor of that.
You know what I heard about Metroid the other day?
What?
It's been longer since they announced they're redoing Metroid Prime
know.
4 than it was when they announced the game.
Can someone look up when that Metroid Prime got like pushed back video? Because I'm pretty sure it was 2018.
God,
I'm pretty sure it was 2018.
that would have been a year then.
Yeah.
at
And it's been
most.
4. The last thing we heard was 4 years ago, and it was that they were changing studios, and that's it.
Yeah,
Since then,
yeah. That's
2019 is what I said.
that makes more sense.
I said 2019.
January 20.
But it was January.
Damn.
That may as well have been 2018. I was still right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway, we're going to get that next year. We're going to get some more cool things.
The end of every console life cycle is always stacked with great stuff.
Yes, that's why I think we're there, because this year is stacked. And then I feel like, for reasons that developers are going to start switching over to the new console. So next year we'll have the things we know about, but not too much crazy stuff like this year is. And then the 2024, we will get in March Mario Odyssey 2 on launch day.
Please.
With the new Switch that will be backwards with the current. So there'll be a Mario Odyssey 2 on Switch and Switch 2.
I'm not sure how many
my
times
prediction.
a Nintendo console has launched with a Mario game. I know N64
64. But Nintendo is really, I feel like lately been all about like throwbacks and like redoing the past. I mean, the Switch itself, when they released it and revealed it, they did that big like trailer of like, we took this from the NES and this idea from the Game Boy and this. and it was kind of that amalgamation of things into one console. And I think that they're going to look at Mario Odyssey 2, one of their best-selling games on the console, know that Mario 64 sold the 64. It's that big. Because what else is going to push the next console on launch day?
Well, they always
What's
have to
gonna
have one guy.
Yeah.
When the Switch launched, there were 7 games.
I know.
And that's it.
And it was a huge success because of Zelda.
Yes.
So what's the only thing
You don't
bigger
think
than...
Bomberman R did anything?
I don't
Didn't
know.
make a dent?
That game sucked.
I really wanted that game to be good. I like Bomberman.
I didn't even
And I was like,
care.
oh my God, look, it's like the old Bomberman.
I-
and I was trying really hard to get people to play it with me, and nobody
It
was
wasn't
into it.
good.
And then I got it, and I was like, I was maybe a little wrong about this game.
I didn't even pick it up on launch day. On launch day, I only had Zelda and the console. Because at that point, I wasn't a Nintendo Switch YouTuber. I just wanted to play Zelda. But yeah, other than Zelda, like, what's bigger? Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, you got Mario, Zelda, Metroid now. Metroid's not one of the
I don't
big
think
IPs.
Metroid could sell. I don't think any Metroid has sold more than like 3 million.
Yeah, it's
units.
the whole Spawn Wave,
Yeah.
Spawncast thing that they...
So I don't think
about.
that's going to be considered a seller. I think Mario is the only thing. And other than Odyssey 2, which is that is what's happening. Mario Kart 9 could be the thing that it launches.
Mario
with.
Kart 9 is definitely a thing for the next console. So
Yeah.
there was like a rumor or something that this is why I hate like all the like industry insider
love
talk
talking
and stuff.
rumors.
No, I love talking like just guessing what's gonna
Right.
happen, trying to take educated guesses.
Uh-huh.
But there's always like somebody who tweets and they're like, oh, they're making Mario Kart 9. They're gonna announce it in this direct, and everybody's waiting for Mario Kart 9 to be. And there's Mario Kart 9, but there's a twist. You're gonna see the twist in this Nintendo Direct, and then the Nintendo Direct happens, and they go DLC for Mario Kart 8, and everyone's
Oh
like,
my
I knew it.
God.
That's what I was talking
Yeah,
about. And it's like
exactly.
that's not what you're talking about. You
Exactly.
said Mario Kart 9.
And I always fall for them too. I don't spread them, but I'm always like, okay, that's going to happen.
But
And then I'm watching it,
that's
it
why
never happens.
That's why I'm always skeptical of that stuff, because it's some guy who heard from some guy who heard from some guy, and maybe they just saw weird Mario Kart 8 tracks and were like, must be working on a Mario Kart 9, and then they just say that.
To speak of people that are like, I know it. You know how many people have been talking about like a Switch 2 or like the next thing for the last like 4 years? In 2024, like, or 3, when they reveal it, they're going to go, I know it. I knew
all
it,
the people
baby.
who said Switch Pro 4K, when they do it in 2024, they're going to be like, I knew it. That's the one.
To be fair, even I thought the Switch Pro was coming. And I still have a theory that the OLED Switch was supposed to be something
people have that theory.
like a Pro, but because of the chip shortages and the way things are, it was just easier for Nintendo to just throw a better screen in there, $50 more, and OLED hold us over until the new one.
I do think that the OLED was supposed to be a little more.
I think so, too.
I think that a 4K console
No,
is
never.
out of the realm
And
of
I never
possibility.
said what I said in my video was the only way it would be 4K, and I don't expect it will be, is there was this new software that was artificially upscaling footage to
Right.
4K, but technically it was playing at like 1080.
And there's
Which
rumors,
is doable.
there's
It's
rumors
even
of
happening.
Them talking to Nvidia and stuff
Right.
about the DLSS technology. But
Yeah, because they had a little box on the market that was doing exactly that.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but Nintendo was never going to
And
do
they
it.
were like, I don't remember. There was something where they like pitched Nintendo on the idea. So everybody's like, oh, it's going to be in the OLED Switch
Mm-hmm.
that's coming out. They're going to put it. And it's like, how maybe they just pitched it. Like maybe they didn't get that far yet. We know that they're talking, but maybe
Exactly.
there's nothing that's going to come of it, You don't buy anything until the company themselves says
That's
that
how
they're
the
doing
juicy
something.
rumors start, and you
I
get
know.
the articles and the clicks.
I know.
We talked about watching each other's rumor videos before this.
Oh yeah, I wanted to do that.
Because we talked about individually watching our own videos and then being like a list of like what we got right, what we got wrong, but then we were going to watch each other's videos to hold each other
I
accountable.
actually watched my own like very recently. We're both considered like Switch YouTubers, and it's because we were covering the Switch really early on.
Mm-hmm.
I was covering it like before it was coming out, like the hype leading up to
I
it.
did a couple.
And I was trying to I was doing what we're doing now, like doing rumors and trying to figure out what they're working on and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a couple of videos where I taled about like the NX or whatever the hell it was. I actually have one
I had
before it
the
was called the
NX.
NX.
I remember being so pissed that it wasn't called NX. When they changed it to Switch, I was like, the NX is such a cool name. Switch is never going to catch on.
I
I was wrong.
Switch was a good name.
It was.
Um,
At the time, though, it sounded so Like switch? Like a
They
light
always-
switch?
They
What
always
word is
have.
that?
The switch is what it does. It's the thing that it does.
I know.
And
How
then they
often
come out
do
with a switch light, and everyone's like, "That's not a switch. It doesn't switch."
How often do you switch though?
Never. I always
Never.
play docked.
Exactly. And even when you're not, you got your Joy-Cons. You aren't switching the Joy-Cons unless you get Joy-Con drift, which is a good chance.
But no, one of my early videos is me talking about what Nintendo's next console is probably going to be, and it's of course the Wii U without the console,
Right.
You know,
That was a no-brainer.
and that like years later, someone found it and like made a big stink. Like, this guy predicted the Switch. But if you watch the video, I say that one thing, and then I get all this other stuff wrong about it. But I went back and watched those because I'm writing like a little passage in that book,
And you're
the Retro
conceited and
Dodo
you
book.
love watching your
I
own
love
videos.
watching I put my own videos on autoplay when I go to sleep. It's actually the opposite.
really
I
hope that that's not
refuse.
true.
I refuse to. After I upload a video, I refuse to watch it. After that,
I do watch my own videos sometimes, especially when they just go out because I want to see what people are watching. But if I'm in the room when someone else loads up one of my videos, I'm like,
yeah, I want it out of there.
just turn that off.
like
Do
that.
not listen to that.
I sometimes have to watch to like pull footage or something, and I hate that. I hate that because I have to watch the video 1,000 times before
I know.
it comes out.
You
And then you
hear-
watch one final time, and then you're like, all right, I'm out.
You
I don't
hear
wanna
every
see this
line, every word, and also like you hear your own edits. Like when I'm watching my videos back, I'm listening to my own edits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I spent so long on that 30 seconds.
But anyway, I was watching some of that stuff because I'm writing in that book, that Retro Dodo book, and about the Switch. And I have to write a lot of words. So I've been writing about the lead up to the Switch and how everybody was like making these predictions and how a lot of content creators that we know.
Are you right about me?
I mentioned you.
Oh, you did?
I did.
That's so
That-
nice.
'cause-
Wait, in what way?
That you're a horrible person. and
Oh,
it's horrible
God.
work. No, because there's a lot of content creators that were covering the Switch before it came out, and then
Yeah.
when the Switch hit, all this hype and the popularity of the Switch came, and everybody was looking and fiending for content, and it spawned all of these,
Yeah.
like big.
Well, on top of that, to magnify it even more, because the Wii U was such a bomb, there wasn't really any Nintendo channels doing well or like
Yeah.
establish themselves because nobody was really seeking out that content.
Yeah.
So the platform was just ready and waiting for new creators to spawn in that area.
Yeah.
And yeah, those that were doing it, the very few people, because I don't know if you really remember, but nobody thought the Switch was going to be successful.
no, because
it
the
felt
Wii U
like,
did so bad.
It seems crazy to
but-
say it now, but it was like 90% of people.
Yeah, yeah, and then the Switch came out. People were like, garbage, trash, not gonna sell anything.
The first 6 months was still a grind. I had this whole thing about, for the longest time, the Switch doesn't have games. It's what I heard in like all my comment section.
Yeah.
The Switch has no games. That went away real quick.
Yeah, and I kept going. It has Zelda.
It does have Zelda.
That's all it needs.
That's really all you need. And then Mario came out.
Yeah, and that's all. That's all you
And that's
need too.
really, really all you need.
Yeah, yeah, I heard a lot of that stuff about the Switch. People were not. I don't understand. Nintendo was on this trajectory for a while. They would release a banger, then they release a dud, then they would release a banger, then they release a dud, and this was the banger.
So what you're saying is,
It could happen. That's my worry, is that the next one, that all they need to do for a Switch 2 is just make the Switch a little
the
more
same
powerful.
thing but better.
Yes.
Yes.
But what they're gonna do
Yep.
is release a Switch 2 with some wacky, weird, stupid thing.
Okay,
in it.
so what is the worst thing they could do? The absolute worst idea? Because I think it
remove
would be,
all of the buttons and it's only motion controls.
Ooh, that's up there. And the controllers are that, but it's a home console only, and there's no more hybrid. And then they try and make like 3DS 2.
Yeah, that was another. I recently just picked up my 3DS for the first time in a really long time, and I turned the 3D on, and it is actually kind of cool seeing a game in 3D. But remember, back in like 12 when that came out, that was when all of the TVs you could buy were 3D TVs.
Yeah.
And
your
everyone's
TV
like, this is going to be the
Your
future.
TV would come with glasses for you to watch
How
3D.
stupid was
There
that?
was a TV that had this weird feature where it would play one thing on the TV normally, but you could play another channel on the 3D part.
Oh my!
So
and the
if you were
polarized
wearing the glasses,
Yeah.
someone could be watching one thing and someone else could be watching if you needed to watch two channels at once.
That is so
That's actually sick. Okay, all right. I guess not.
The PlayStation TV, the one that you
What?
can see where the two different games.
PlayStation TV?
Oh,
Sony came out with
yeah.
Oh, it was definitely Sony.
It looked like
yeah.
a giant Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Dude,
god.
that idea, I think that idea is sick. It's like picture in picture,
So
but
how do
better.
you listen to it?
Don't-
You just don't. One person
I-
gets to hear it, and that's
Don't
it.
worry about that.
One cool
You
thing
just have
about
both audios blasting at once.
one cool thing about the handhelds and the Wii U gamepad and stuff is that there's a lot of households that only have one TV.
Mm-hmm.
So like being able to play the game without a TV.
That was
like,
good about the Wii
awesome.
U.
Yeah, and that was a good thing about the Vita too, because the Vita had a remote play. People use that a lot. The Wii U, yeah, a lot of games didn't even utilize the gamepad. It was just the same thing.
To clarify for anyone that might not know, I actually loved the Wii U. I loved the Wii U.
I liked the games on the Wii U. The console itself was not good.
I kind of liked it.
What would you like about it?
No, I mean, like, it was, it was like a fat switch. I mean,
It's just
I was just very sold on the gimmick. It was at the time when it came out, all my friends and I will always get every console at launch.
Right.
They got it. They hated it. I remember my friend Drew, was my roommate for the longest time, always complained about the gamepad, and when playing games, having to look down at the gamepad, look back up like Zombie U. That was like my favorite thing. Like, I remember I was just gushing, and I made a video about how, like, in Zombie U, you would, like, run up to a lock pad, you'd have zombies chasing you from behind, and you'd get thrown down to the screen to get the lock pad, and you had to figure out the combination and, like, look up at the screen to see what the zombies were, and you're like, I gotta figure out this combination.
that was around that time when the Wii U was out, was when all of these other game companies and TV companies were doing the second screen experience.
Yeah.
So you pull out your phone or your tablet and sign into a website.
Which
and
sucked.
Yeah. And that's what Nintendo was trying to mimic with that. Like it was good in theory to have a second screen, a little tiny screen to go along with the game, but almost no developers utilized it, even Nintendo themselves. A lot of first-party Nintendo games just mirrored the screen or put the map there.
I think it's interesting that almost every console, at least for Nintendo, that's come out, there's been these big features they push early on that doesn't get used.
Yeah.
Like, that's one. But even if you look on the Switch, why has it got like a reader on the bottom of one Joy-Con to like scan like that? They never used that after launch day.
No, there's a
ever.
lot. There's a lot of tech in the Joy-Con.
And I'm
When's
actually
the last time you scanned an Amiibo?
never.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a weirdo, and I turn off vibration on like.
That is weird.
I know I'm a weirdo, but and maybe I'm speaking out of turn. But HD Rumble, does that ever get used?
No, and it's sad because it's really good.
It's actually sick.
in 1-2 Switch, it was
Yeah,
friggin'
you had like
amazing.
that marble game, and you could like actually feel the balls in your hand.
Yeah, it was incredible. And then okay, and
I
can
didn't-
I hit the
sorry.
button? And then when the PS5 came out and that had the same thing, everyone's like, "This is revolutionary," and it's like this is the exact same thing as HD Rumble.
To be fair, with the PlayStation 5, like playing Horizon, when you're like pulling back the bow and then you're firing, and it actually feels like a
Well, that's
arrow is
adaptive
being
triggers.
like.
That's a little different.
I know, but the whole PlayStation experience with that vibration and the adaptive triggers go together really well.
They did a really good job of implementing
It's
it.
sick.
Like playing Astro's Playroom and feeling all the vibrations.
Astro's
is freaking
Playroom was
awesome.
amazing. That was like
But
them doing Nintendo
the
better than Nintendo.
technology is exactly the same as HD Rumble. It's just that they it was more popular and they did a better job.
I feel like they're
implementing
actually using it though.
Yes.
Whereas Nintendo, I mean, what else? I mean, the 64 had like a whole thing on the bottom right that they never used. There was something on.
Look at it.
True, it is right there. Was it that thing? Because it was
A development thing.
no, it was to plug into the
The disc drive.
the disc drive,
yeah.
which never came out, and there's only like 4 of them, and Metal Jesus has one. Now I've mentioned Metal Jesus twice in 2
Get him
episodes.
on.
First guest. The GameCube had something
The
about
GameCube
it.
had one. It had 3 ports on the bottom. One of them was pretty much just a dev port.
The Wii U had like icons on the home screen that were supposed to be for apps that never came out,
The Wii U had one of the worst home
and it was
screens.
always there.
The Wii U had 2 home screens
Also,
that you could swap between.
was it the Wii U? I think it was. On the bottom of the Wii U pad, there's like a socket or something that never got used.
I think it was
Or
a
plug
charger.
or a charger or
I
something.
think it was like the contacts for a charger.
But there's something on it, I think, that never got used. I'm
I don't
pretty
know.
sure.
I don't know about that.
Well, anyway. Nintendo are kings and queens of releasing consoles with things that never get used.
They are notorious for making consoles that are like underpowered or with old technology and stuff, but they pack so much stuff in there.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't. They only
I
use
don't
half
think
of it.
they even know. They're like, we want gimmicks, and the developers are like, okay, sure. What do you want? What do you got?
Yeah, what do
we
you
can
got?
we can put like a scanner on the bottom of one. What'll that do? Yeah, you can count fingers with it. Do it. We'll figure it out down the road. We'll make a whole game around it.
You know what? That was a thing in Dr. Kiwashima's Brain Training or something that they never released in America. What's the friggin' the old DS Brain Training?
Oh yeah,
Brain Age.
I got that. I got that when I went to Australia. We found that.
My mom used to play a lot of Brain Age on the DS.
It's actually
she
good.
does not play games.
It's fun.
So she played a lot of DS Brain Age. So I got her the Switch version, the European one, but I got her a Switch Lite. And Brain Training uses the Joy-Cons like a lot.
Oh wow!
And it uses the IR thing that you were talking about.
Oh
that
really?
Games use. It
the now I'm remembering the Labo. You could build that
The
little
Labo, okay.
the lab.
It's the accent. It's the
It's
accent.
just I'm Australian. Mario. You could build the little cart thing, and then when you drove it around, it used the IR reader as a camera.
Yeah.
And you could like see. But I think
And-
that's it. I
and
think
it-
that's the 3 times they used
The
it.
Labo also had like a night vision thing.
It did,
Yeah, with the IR.
and
That
it
was
had
pretty
like
cool.
a piano.
Labo had a lot of really cool stuff.
It did, and I made it all. And then
And
my house
It
flooded.
sucked making it all.
My house flooded, and it was all on the floor.
Oh no.
So
that's
that
cardboard. That's not good.
my fishing rod got wet. And
Well, I mean, it's supposed to. Should be fine.
it wasn't. It went limp.
Ooh, baby.
Hmm.
So
All right.
let's talk about the tech specs you take on the Switch 2, baby.
Okay.
We get into 4K or what?
SSD, NVMe,
It needs some more internal storage.
4K with 8K upscaling.
Okay, no.
We got
We don't even have 8K.
we've
in
got 10
today's console.
terabytes of eternal storage. Nintendo are
Wow.
just getting started
That's
here.
crazy.
We have RTX 3090 in this bad boy.
That's it? This is in 2024.
4090
4090, yes.
in
thank
this bad boy. And finally, the piece of resistance. 2 IR readers on the bottom
you.
of each
Whoa,
Joy-Con.
God. That's crazy. And you can use
know.
one for each eyeball.
Exactly.
Because it has 3D.
A 3D slider. Oh, 4D. It blows on you too.
I'm going to hit the button.
No, that's not what I meant. Like Shrek 4D.
You're not helping.
No, you know what I'm talking about,
I've seen a lot
right?
of Shrek on the internet. I know.
There's
what
the
it's about.
Shrek 4D experience. I'm guessing at like Universal. Why is everyone stop at the 4D experience where you're like sitting in the chairs and then like when like a gust of wind that like they blow air at you and then like away and then
That
they, like,
wasn't
spritz
Universal.
you with water.
You were somewhere else.
I've never done it. I've just heard about it. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking
Thank
about.
you.
They have
Appreciate
those like
you.
90 experiences at the mall. I don't know what it is. They just show a chair in the middle of the mall with like a rope around. They're like 90.
Can I
Come
tell
check
you
it out.
A very short story.
Yes.
Kim and I went to was it Dave and Buster's?
Oh boy.
The other day, literally like when we were in PA, our friend Tyler came to meet us because he lives there, and we were at Dave and Buster's, and they have this new like ride thing that's VR, and you can sit in it, and it like shakes you like side to side. You saw that clip recently of that girl that was in one, and like it like tilted and then like fell off over, and she like tumbled. Scary. Well, it's that, but it was 4 seats.
Okay.
So we're lining up to go in. It was $6 each, and I paid. It was not cheap. And they had
I'm
6
glad to
games.
know you paid.
There's like 6 games. Well, I'm telling you, I paid because of what happens.
Okay.
There's 6 games you can pick from, and we're like, "What's the best one?" And he goes, "Terminator 2." We
Guy's
go,
just a
"Why?"
Terminator fan.
And he's like, "Because imagine like a really like a city street, 2 lanes, and you're blasting down it at 90." So I'm like, "Oh, it's a driving game, driving VR at Dave and Buster's. I'm going to throw up."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "The only thing you have to be careful about is you're really going to get thrown around in this thing." And then he points at me and goes, "You're getting thrown around the most because of your height." So now I'm freaking out. We sit down in the seats and I've got like the headset on, and I think Kim could instantly tell that I was checked out. I'm like, I am not doing this. And he tells me to relax because I'm sitting there like that. He said, put your feet down and relax. I go, no, I'm not relaxing. And he's like, you have to relax. I'm like, can I get off? And so I got off the ride. I didn't do it. Dude, I was so scared. I was literally terrified.
Did you do it?
I did, yeah, and honestly,
The first thing,
for nothing. I literally was like this.
to be fair, both you and Tyler were kind of looking wild. Like, Tyler looked like he was thinking about getting off the ride too.
Tyler got like a full-blown flop sweat because when he took that helmet off, his whole face, I think he like freaked himself out because nothing happened.
How
The-
tall is Tyler?
He's a little shorter than me.
Yeah, not
Okay.
much.
I'm a tall guy. I'm like 6'2".
I guess your center of balance is gonna.
I don't know why he pointed at me like I was gonna die, but
That was the worst thing
I
you
felt
could've
like
done.
I was in danger. You were getting thrown around though, and I just
It honestly
I just didn't appreciate as soon as it was over, she goes, that wasn't bad. Well, it wasn't bad. You would have been fine.
That wasn't bad. They
They would have been fine. Anyway, that was my 4D experience.
So we think that the Switch 2 is gonna be a ride that throws you around.
Yeah, and blows on you.
Okay.
I don't see a way that Nintendo mucks it up. I think Nintendo was having a hard time for a while finding their audience, right? Because the GameCube was very cool.
Well, I don't think they had I don't think so.
Listen.
Okay.
The GameCube was very cool and it was competitive in its time. And I feel like it was still trying to get like edgy. Like the promotion, the commercials, they were edgy. The games were dark. They had Eternal Darkness, which has dark in the name. How dark can you get?
Whoa.
But it didn't do very well. So the Wii the Wii was very commercial, very white, very hospital looking. It was very mums and grandmas playing, it got super popular. Everyone was playing Wii Fit. But I think Nintendo was kind of like, we need to hardcore this up a little bit, right? So the Wii U comes out, everyone can play it, but we have Bayonetta now, and Bayonetta's cool, right? You like Bayonetta, but it flopped. The Switch was the first console Nintendo had done in a long time where it's just universally loved. Everyone can play it. Everyone has it. It has a hardcore gamer fan base. It has a casual fan base. It has kids. It has adolescents. It has adults. It has like everybody. And I think Nintendo finally has their audience, and they just have to do that again, but better. I don't see them going, okay, but what if we tried this now?
So I think that I don't think this is Nintendo finally finding their audience, and because
it's so popular.
But so was the Wii.
It sold more than like PlayStation 4.
I think it just met the Wii in sales.
Yeah, but the Wii had Wii Fit,
and
it was a revelation.
The only reason I think it met the Wii is because
I played Wii Fit.
Is because with handheld
it always
consoles,
told me I was obese.
Oh my god,
I really wasn't that big.
With handheld consoles, like parents will buy their kids their own handhelds.
True.
The Wii, it's the whole family. So the fact that the Wii even sold as much as it did is insane.
But it's also super affordable.
Right. Well, it's as much as the friggin' Wii was.
The Switch, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the Switch is as much as the Wii was. So I think that when the GameCube came out, Nintendo was trying to still be on the forefront of technology, especially in video games, because they were like the guys, and they were like, we can't. These other guys, who cares? We're Nintendo. We can do whatever we want.
Screw Sony and their attachment. They're nothing.
Yeah, and then Sony absolutely freaking crushed it with the PlayStation 2, and they were like, oh no.
That is such a great story that I'm sure everybody knows about, so I'm not even gonna. Yeah. I love that story.
So Nintendo realized, all right, we can't compete anymore with the tech companies, because the tech companies now are making consoles, and we just can't.
Some people have said Nintendo giving Sony the ability to make that first PlayStation was their second biggest blunder next to dropping me from the ambassador program.
Oh, okay.
Some people have said it.
It's probably up there.
Thank you. I appreciate the round of applause over there. Sorry, keep going.
So the Wii was their way to throw a gimmick in there, and they did, and it friggin' worked, and it was a great gimmick. It worked really well, and everybody liked it. And the fact that people were the fact that it captured like whole families and like grandparents could get involved in the gameplay, that's what sold big numbers. It was in friggin' old folks' homes and stuff. Mm-hmm. Then
the Switch can do that too.
The Wii, I think the Switch does do that. I think they should have put more health and wellness stuff on the Switch.
I feel like they tried, but it wasn't very promoted.
They haven't.
Because there was like a boxing game, and
so Ring Fit actually is a lot more popular than I think about. Like when I see the numbers, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't realize that many people have that.
I'm surprised they haven't done a board with how successful. Why not?
Because they always have to do something different, and I feel like that's sometimes to their detriment, and sometimes it helps.
Could you imagine combining Ring Fit with the board?
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy.
That's a video.
Well, I don't think I can unless I played both
2 games at once.
All right, that is a video.
With on the PlayStation.
Oh, I'm gonna get so fit.
You have one eye doing one. Yeah, just 2 sets of glasses.
That's a good idea.
Anyway, the Wii U came out and they tried to do a gimmick. It didn't work out. So I feel like they're just constantly trying to find new audiences and doing wacky new things. That's why. So I think again, the Switch 2, all it needs is to just be the Switch 1 with a little extra maybe power. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. The Wii. So the problem with the Wii was third parties they made a lot of garbage, and a lot of the big AAA games were getting garbage versions on the Wii. And that was one reason a lot of people didn't want a Wii.
That's why I initially sold my Wii, even when I was a huge Nintendo fan, and bought an Xbox. I still remember the game it was, because I grew up playing all the wrestling games with my friends, and they all got SmackDown vs. Raw on Xbox.
God.
I got it on Wii, and on Wii, it was a travesty.
Yeah.
Like, doing a Sweet Chin Music was a cutscene where I had to get the Wiimote to stamp his foot and then go like that to attack. It was a weird, watered-down version. It didn't have elimination chambers. I don't think it even had like 4-person matches.
So third parties really did a number on the Wii and the perception of Nintendo at the time, because people were like, I don't want the worst version of games.
Right.
I'd rather get the other stuff. So when the Wii U came out, I think they tried to make it a little edgy, and they tried to get third parties involved and say, we're gonna now we have the same version of the games on here. But the friggin' problem was the gamepad.
I know what you're going to say.
Now you have to develop for another screen.
Yeah.
And it ended up being worse.
So
for
the
third
developers
parties.
knew they couldn't make a different version or a watered-down version or a modified version of their game. They had to put the game on the console, but they also had to work around a pad.
Yeah.
And apparently that console was just a nightmare to develop for in general.
Right.
So that, mixed with the Wii U poor sales, developers were like, do we spend the time to put our game on a console that has barely even sold 1 million units? Like, what's the best we can hope to achieve here? Like 50,000 sales?
So Nintendo decided, forget it, we're just going to do our own thing, and then they just made a Switch.
And also with the Wii U, the one good thing that came, I don't know, probably would have happened anyway, is I feel like Nintendo just went hard on games because they knew they had to.
With what?
The Wii U.
The Wii U, yeah.
I think they probably would have anyway, because Nintendo's good about like slaying the first party. But I feel like at some point they realized we're supporting this thing. Yeah. So we got Virtual Console, which had a huge support, had so many games, and we had Nintendo just making first party banger after banger. That might even be the reason we got Splatoon.
Yeah.
They were like, if no one else can put a shooter on this thing, we'll do
it. There was a lot of great first parties on the Wii U, and that's why we're seeing a lot of those same first parties just re-released, because nobody got to play them on the Wii U.
Which I'm down for.
It had a very small user base.
I was always happy for that coming over. The full price 60 was always a sting, especially with some like Pikmin 3, where it was like, yeah, 60 again. At least games like Mario 3D World that came with a whole extra game.
That was really
that's like, okay, 60 again.
Yeah,
I get
had
that.
A really good time with Bowser's
Fury. I bought that for that. I never played the old game. I played that already. Right. I played Bowser's Fury, and it was sick.
Yeah, it was great. It was worth $60. I mean,
glad you
a lot of
agree.
Nintendo stuff is worth the full price tag. A lot of it looks expensive, but it ends up being. They put a lot of care. There's a Nintendo polish on the game, so it ends up being worth it.
So Switch 2, better than Switch 1. If it was to have like a new gimmick, something where they're like, I'm
terrified.
We're addicted to the gimmicks. Give us something.
I'm scared of what's the new cool TV technology?
Oh, that's a good point.
That they can steal from.
Anyone think of anything? What's the coolest, hippest thing?
They gotta do some internet stuff, dude. Their account system is garbage.
They have no idea how to use the internet. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna touch that.
That's the new cool TV thing is smart TVs. You know?
Yeah, they're not a smart company.
No, they're not.
No.
Just make it full on Android.
What is the newest, hottest like tech thing?
I guess the DLSS and the resolution and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen.
It might.
I mean, well, we got OLED. That was the new cool TV tech.
That's what we have to look forward to.
I mean, we got it already. So the next one probably will be OLED. I don't see a problem. That it doesn't burn in. We know that's the one issue.
Well, it kind of does.
Yeah, after freaking 3,000 hours. That's the one concern with OLED, and it's kind of been nibbed in the butt. Did I say that right?
I didn't see any more bodega cats when I went to get an energy drink earlier.
They didn't have one at that bodega? You should have went to the other bodega.
How many bodegas on average would you say have? Every block? But not every bodega?
Every other block, he says. There's
here is every block.
Yeah, no, there's sometimes multiple on a square block.
Are you able to buy specifically a bodega cat?
What?
Like go into the bodega and say, how much?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's got a price. How many G Fuel sponsorships do we need to get a bodega cat?
We should buy a bodega cat and leave it here in the office for the podcast.
That cat would not make it.
Because you're not going to feed it?
Plants.
Yeah, we don't even have real plants in this place.
You just don't like life down here?
Yeah.
There's no windows. Yeah, it's a dungeon.
It is a dungeon. I like it down here. It's cool. I can't wait to get in my basement and create my own dungeon.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks is a walkout. So there's a window down there.
Windows are great for filming.
No, I'm actually excited. It's only one. It's like literally a double door with glass windows.
You just got to be good at trying to have the light inside compensate for the light outside.
Is there anything I should know about we should know about the East before we move? Anything we should prepare for? Oh God, here we go.
Oh God, he grabbed the mic.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something funny to say, but it's probably not good for a podcast.
What's it? Realtor? What's it called? The guy
Realtor.
the guy that shows you houses.
It sounds like an RPG villain.
Is that it?
Realtor.
He kept telling me specifically that I needed to get more grit. That I needed to get more like what's kind of the terminology? Because he's like, you're too nice. You're too nice for the East.
Yeah, you
got to
be a little shittier.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not going to New York.
Because he would like find a house that he liked, and he would be like, oh, we can put an offer in, and then if we get accepted, you can keep it. If you don't want it, just let him know you don't want it. And I'd be like, but that's because people are trying to get this house for their kids and their families, and I'm putting in offers when I don't
that's
really
because
want
you're doing
it.
a business thing, and and you got to be a tough guy when you're doing business,
Right?
You're talking
And that's
about
what
money.
he's saying. He's like, you gotta be, you gotta do it. You gotta be tough if you're gonna live here in the
people are
East.
gonna walk all over
People
you.
take what they want. They take no names. Like, you can't be nice. This ain't Texas. This ain't Australia.
Damn.
I'm like, okay, man. Thoughts on that? Do I gotta be nice?
If you're gonna be in New York, you have to be an asshole.
Do I have to yell at
That's
people that are
requirement.
walking in?
Yeah.
I got my coffee.
I know you don't got to be an asshole to people in Pennsylvania.
Put some hair on your chest.
Put some hair on my chest. I don't have much, to be fair. Well, it's not Hugh Jackman, but
Oh. I don't know.
I think you're fine.
I'm fine.
Yeah, you'll
What
be
about
fine.
Kim? I think Kim's
You
gonna
got
be
you got
be-
some problem.
I think Kim's gonna be.
Perfect. That's Northeast full of problems. Let's do it.
I think Kim's gonna be better off than me.
Probably.
Nice because I'm here.
Yeah.
See me outside.
She's just
She
she's
takes
just a tyrant.
She takes no names when she's out there. When she's on the roads, in the supermarkets. I don't know.
punching old ladies, just getting the ham.
Taking kids in prams, and she's just pushing them into the street. You grabbed the mic to tell me something about the East, and you said nothing.
He made me forget.
Cool. So that's my job here.
How much does it snow?
Not much. Like you'll have a big blizzard every 2 years.
What's the footage?
I'm thinking video. The footage. If there's a blizzard, you can get 1 to 2 feet.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad.
That's.
I
Not
mean,
bad.
when it starts messing up the roads and you have nowhere, you can't get anywhere.
I don't leave the house. We don't leave the house.
Being as the YouTuber that has to stay home and make videos.
Okay, you're a YouTuber.
Yeah, but I still go outside sometimes.
Does it? No,
That's
you're in the
about-
same boat.
That's about all we can achieve for as YouTubers, going outside sometimes.
There was a blizzard, like what? Like in it was like what 2 months ago? Yeah. There was like a big blizzard, and you know, I used to live on Long Island. That happens. You're just inside. You can't go anywhere really, unless you have a big Jeep and you can drive all over the snow. So everyone was complaining about
We
that.
do have a big Jeep,
Well, that's good.
and it's lifted.
Four-wheel-
That's a good thing you
Four-wheel
got it
drive
lifted.
low and friggin' plow through it. You could probably take it off road on your own property. Pretty cool. My dad used to make me drive the Jeep onto the lawn before it snowed, so I can just drive out.
I am never driving on a lawn again.
Oh no. What I was gonna say was, in the city now, when there's a blizzard, it doesn't matter. Everything's plowed. You can get on the subway. Everything's fine.
So when we lived in our very first house that we were renting, I don't even know why I did it.
I told you not to as you were doing it.
I don't know why I decided. We were renting a duplex, so half of it was ours, half of it was someone else's, but we shared the same front yard. It had just been raining. And I don't know why. I think what had happened, we were coming home and I missed the driveway. And rather than turning around and going in the driveway, I was like, well, over the lawn. And I just drove across the front yard. And sure enough, we're in like this heavy Dodge Ram that Kim used to have, and I got embedded in the front lawn, and I was trying to get out, and I was just like digging a massive hole in the front. It was all muddy and wet. And then after like hours of trying, the neighbor actually towed us out. But when he towed us out, it was across the other way. So I just grinded the front of the yard out the other way. And the next day, because that happened at night, The next day we walked out there and it literally looked like someone had been like excavating the front lawn, and the neighbors of the duplex were out front like, what's happened here?
Oh no.
That was one of the stupidest things I've ever done. Just, I've missed the driveway over the front lawn. That's who you're doing the podcast with. Shortcuts.
I hope you don't.
It's all shortcuts.
Just don't drive. Just don't drive.
I'm actually a really good driver.
That you did not sell that to me. Just
That
now.
wasn't driving.
What
That
was that?
Parking with
Parking.
style.
All right, so you drive, and then while you're in the car, you switch with Kim, and then she parks.
I'm actually a really great parker.
Are you now?
Yes.
No, you're Wood. Yeah, what are you talking about?
The rental car that we had in PA had like a weird camera like at the top. Have you seen that?
No.
So like we could see like a full 360 view of the whole car when I was parking.
Oh, that's weird.
It didn't have a camera at the top. It has one on the front.
Yeah, it was doing a weird thing.
It gives you like this video game car.
They have the ones. Yeah, they have
Yeah.
the ones on the mirrors too that face down, and it's super wide, so it looks like.
Yeah,
it's
it was
a
like
full
it was like a
360.
digital fake car.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But
I've
it was
seen that.
emulating like if I was like over the top of the car looking down.
When I had a car, it was a Jeep Wrangler with like no electronics, so I didn't even have a backup camera or anything.
Kim doesn't have a backup camera in her Jeep, and the back of the Jeep is like one giant tire.
Yeah,
so you can't
really
see out the back.
Yeah, so when I drive a car now, I never use the backup. I always have to look like myself. And
You
everyone's
just
like,
can't
"Why don't
see
you
in
just use
Kim's.
that?"
You just have to hope and pray.
Is it a Wrangler?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yeah.
It was a
Well, is it a
two-door.
Wrangler or is it a Rubicon?
Isn't that a Wrangler?
I think it's a
No.
family. Yeah,
It's a style
fat
of
one.
Wrangler.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the good.
She
Wrangler.
just said that she did not want a Willy.
A
I do
Willy?
not want the word Willy on my car.
Wait,
I'm good.
isn't Willy like the first Jeep?
Yeah. There's the Jeep Willy.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that 1940s Jeep.
No, they make new Willys.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
There's new Willys, and then they make new Wranglers and new Rubicons.
I like the one that has the pickup back. That's sick.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the Rubicons.
I want a friggin' electric truck, but I'm not driving anywhere. I don't.
the
need
Tesla
anything.
one that looks like a spaceship.
I actually think that looks really cool, but there's a.
Me too. Yeah.
I
Whoa.
don't.
Must be nice.
It's, okay, here's the stipulation.
Hasn't that been on pre-order for like 5 years?
Yes.
Free. If it was $100 down, and you can take that back if you don't want it. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, that's $100. That ain't bad.
I was like, I like the
Hit me up if you're gonna take that back.
That ain't bad at all.
But
It's
but
gonna be $100,000.
You know what?
There's-
You know what I want?
what?
The Tesla Roadster.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It's a $300 sports car, and it's apparently the fastest car on the street. And there's one in space right now.
Fastest 0 to 60.
That's actually insane. Did you know that?
yeah. It's like just
car,
the body.
The car that he put in space was a Roadster, and right now there is a car floating and orbiting the planet.
yeah.
Is that insane? Does anyone not find that ridiculous? Right now there is a
Why
car
don't we
orbiting
put,
us.
We could put something.
and
in
we're
space.
talking about the next Switch, like it has any relevance.
What would you put in space? We could do it. Just tie to a weather balloon, put it up there, and we go. I got something in space now.
Scoot. We'll put Scoot in
The
space.
first Twitch streamer in space.
The first Twitch partner in space. He'll love it.
Damn,
He
that's
will
a good
love
idea.
it.
We got a lot of ideas for this guy.
He can stream it up there. He can squad stream with the space boy.
Really, what we need is a weather balloon, a phone that has to be satellite so it stays connected, and then we just have him.
Yeah. Isn't it also insane that our phones get signals from space?
They don't. That was a Louis C.K. joke. It's not true.
Is it really not true?
Cell towers that are on the ground. You need a satellite phone to do that.
My pants make noise when I move. Bonus episode if you want to watch on Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe, 5 stars,
done?
review.
We're done?
Yeah,
I
we're
didn't even
done.
know. I
That
was
wasn't
having
out.
a good
The
time.
second one was better than the first one.
We were concerned we wouldn't have enough to talk about. I feel like we friggin'
We
nailed
did
it.
pretty good. Was there
Audience
any,
helps.
did I miss anything? I know it's what we're missing the first time. Did I miss anything right now? Did I catch it all?
We didn't get to talk about boys.
I meant for like the bonus episode, subscribe, Patreon.
Right.
Thank you to all our Patreons, by the way. We were blown away with how many people subscribed after the first episode. We filmed these back to back. I changed clothes. He just put on a jacket.
Nah, I'm wearing a hoodie.
I came prepared,
You
and I
have-
don't even
this
live
is,
here.
This is your hoodie.
Is it my hoodie?
No, it's not. No. Twitch. No. I'm so bad.
Bye!
Wolfdenapparel.com for this hoodie.
Yeah, can we get a round of applause? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys.